is not what I want, and what I want is not what I need. And this is today's episode. It took me such a long time to understand that when I was in a moment of crisis, when OCD was at its worst, what felt right was wrong, and what felt wrong was right. And not knowing this is what kept me stuck. So every time I was struggling, every time I was going through a crisis, like every time I had this doubt and I wanted to check the door lock one more time, or I wanted to ask for reassurance one more time, or I wanted to Google something one more time, that felt right, because feeling uncomfortable was not okay to me. So there are a few things that I needed to understand to achieve full freedom from OCD. And this is what I'm going to be exploring further today. Just talking to someone last week, someone that is currently going through the OCD recovery journey, someone that is still struggling with their OCD. They asked me, Raff, what was the key thing, the key understanding that you needed to have so that OCD recovery became possible? And that's such a great question. And the answer to that for me, in my personal experience, in my personal journey, is the understanding that there are a few things that I needed to relearn. My brain needed to be retrained. There are a lot of people out there offering fake promises to cure your OCD. They're saying, eat this kind of food, or take this special pill, or do this special thing here, and this will set you free from OCD. And actually, if you understand what obsessive and compulsive disorder is, and if you understand that it's a brain disorder and that your brain needs a new way of processing those thoughts, you're going to stay stuck no matter how many pills you get. And that's what ERP came to do. ERP stands for Exposure and Response Prevention. I've got to be okay with exposing myself to those fears, but changing my relationship to them. I had to change my response to those fears. I had to change the belief system that I carried my whole life, that being uncomfortable is not okay. And the problem is, that is a false promise. Friends, life is hard. One day we're going to lose loved ones. One day we're going to lose our jobs. One day many, many bad things can happen to us. So not wanting to be uncomfortable and wanting to feel comfortable all the time is what leads so many of us to be acting on compulsion over and over and over again. We don't want to have any sense of uncomfortability. We want to feel good at all times. And this is not normal life. So understanding that I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable was one of the biggest keys for me in OCD recovery. I needed to realize that what I wanted was wrong and what I didn't want was right. A lot of people are saying, oh, but asking for reassurance feels so right. And I'm like, yes, I know that, but not always what feels right is right. And not always what feels wrong is wrong. I love to use this analogy that I love fast food and I hate vegetables. But fast food, although it tastes nice and it feels nice, is not really good in the long term. And vegetables, in my opinion, although they don't taste great, in the long term, they will do a lot of good to my health and to my body. So I had to understand that seeking delayed gratification and not instant gratification was a key thing to understand for OCD recovery to become possible. A lot of people say to me, Raff, but not seeking reassurance is so hard. And I'm like, yes, you're right. But so is hard seeking reassurance and doubting what that person told you 2 minutes ago anyway. Oh, Raff, but not checking the door lock is so hard. Yes, it is. But so is to check the door lock and 2 minutes later doubting if you checked it properly or not. So friends, not seeking reassurance is hard, but so is seeking reassurance. Oh, not checking is hard, but so is checking and not believing it. Oh, but it's so hard not to repeat myself. It is, but so it is to repeat yourself and think it still doesn't feel right anyway. So you've got to pick your heart. Do you want to choose the hard thing that will keep you stuck? Or do you want to choose the hard thing that will set you free? And that, friend, is your choice. So I basically needed to understand that if I just go for what feels right, I'm in big trouble with my OCD recovery. And to be honest, even more than just with OCD recovery, but let's keep it simple and focusing OCD recovery for now. Feeling right is not the goal. How do I do it? How do I deal with it then, Raff? So OCD throws a thought at me. Let's say I've just asked for reassurance. Reassurance was given to me. And then 5 minutes later, OCD comes and says, but what if what your partner say is not true? And then I start the cycle all over again. And what I feel like doing is asking for reassurance one more time. Or what I feel like doing is to put a message on a forum or on an OCD group on Facebook or wherever it is, so I can get as much reassurance from strangers as I possibly can, just to feel miserable again and again and again. So what feels right is going to keep me stuck. And what feels wrong is what's going to set me free. And what is it that feels wrong? And let me explain that to you now. So OCD says to me, what if what your partner said is actually a lie? Or what if what she said is actually wrong? Or what if your door lock is not actually locked? Or what if you are contaminated? And you know the deal, you know your theme. So friends, it's about welcoming the thought. It's about showing OCD who is the boss. So for me, it was about saying, hey OCD, I hear you. I know that you have a lot of time to talk to me today, but the opposite isn't true. Today, I'm gonna let you talk to me for as long as you want. Take a seat if you'd like, but I ain't got the time to communicate with you today. Remember to treat OCD like a drunk man who is trying to talk to you. And OCD has plenty of time to talk to you, but it's your choice if you're gonna communicate to OCD or not. Sometimes seeing OCD as if you have a car and your car's tank is full of gasoline or full of petrol, as they say here in the UK. And you need to think, what is the gasoline that keeps my car going? And what keeps the OCD car moving is reassurance seeking, checking the internet, asking for reassurance, repeating yourself, and on any act of compulsion that you are using to relieve the anxiety. So what I had to learn was to do the opposite. I've got to empty the tank and not keep adding to it. If I keep adding to the tank, the OCD car will never stop. And it will get faster and faster till I crash very badly. So how do I empty the tank? By avoiding compulsions. How do I avoid compulsions? By avoiding it. It's a choice. Friends, I know that you feel like you have no choice, but you do. You can start slowly. You can be like, you know what? I really want to ruminate right now, but for the next 5 minutes, I'm not ruminating. And every time OCD says, and what if thought to you, you're going to say back to it, yeah, maybe, maybe not. Maybe I checked the door, but maybe I didn't. Maybe my partner is lying, but maybe she isn't. Maybe I am contaminated, but maybe I'm not. So you are giving OCD what it doesn't want. OCD wants you to seek a certainty that does not exist. Friends, nothing in life is certain. We don't know if we're going to be even alive the next day. Life throws so many surprises at us. So we've got to learn how to be uncertain. We've got to learn how to be uncomfortable with not knowing. So OCD's job is to lie to you and tell you that by doing a compulsion, you're going to achieve 100% certainty. And you know that it's not true. As much as you'd like to believe it is true, it is not. So if OCD says, hey, check that door one more time, ask for their reassurance one more time, what you say? You say, yeah, maybe, maybe not. Maybe the door is open, maybe it's closed. And today I'm going to choose not to care. And this, friends, is how we empty the tank. Give OCD the opposite of what you want. Give OCD uncertainty. You stop engaging with it. So some people find the words maybe, maybe not a very useful word to be using against OCD. Something else that helps a lot of people is to naming your OCD. If you want to call your OCD John or Matthew or whatever name you want to call, every time OCD talks to you, you say, hey Matthew, I see you, welcome to the party, come over, feel free, bring a drink, bring crisps, bring everything you need or want. But let me tell you, Matthew, I ain't got time to speak to you today, but you can talk to me, no problem at all. And people are like, oh, but the thoughts, they keep on coming, Raff. And I'm like, yes, but the thoughts coming, there is nothing you can do about it. Even non-OCD sufferers have intrusive thoughts. What changes between them and us is their lack of engagement. We give meaning to it all. We attach meaning to things that have no meaning. We let it consume our minds for so long, and that's where we get bugged out. So friends, we've got to learn how to not engage. We have to learn how to say, hey OCD, take a seat. There is a seat right there for you. Talk to me all day if you want, but I'm so sorry. I'm not going to talk to you today. And friends, this is your choice. And trust me, you do have that power. Remember that not seeking reassurance is hard, but so is seeking reassurance and not trusting that reassurance anyway. Remember that not checking the door lock is hard, but so is checking the door lock and doubting that you checked it properly anyway. Remember that not knowing if you're contaminated is hard, but believing that you are not, and then doubting anyway is also hard. So pick your heart wisely. Pick something that's going to set you free and not keep you stuck. And if you found the analogy of the fast food versus vegetable helpful, remember that fast food tastes sweet. Fast food feels nice, but in the long term will only causes damage to your healthy and to your body. And you don't want that. So seek delayed gratification and not instant gratification. Every time you want to act on a compulsion, remind yourself, you know what? Today, I'm not going for fast food. Today, I'm going to go for my vegetables. Today, I'm going to give my OCD the opposite of what it wants. God bless you guys.